introduce our next speaker, Althea, gorgeous redhead, unbelievable light channeler. So this is Althea Lucrezia Avanzo. She's a light language channeler, a galactic contactee, Akashic and psychic healer, Reiki practitioner, Kundalini yoga teacher, and tarot and divination astrologer. She's had psychic and intuitive insights and prophetic dreaming from a very young age, and eventually she decided to pursue this as a career. Her specialty is light language channeled in all shapes and forms, written, drawn, sung, spoken, signed, and so on. And she does timeline clearing on both individual and collective levels. She channels higher dimensional frequency codes, 5D and up, and anchors them in the third, fourth dimensional matrix construct to raise the planetary frequency. Also, her imprint is of rainbow ray spectrum, works with the ninth dimensional Pleiadian being version of herself. I can't wait to hear all of this. All right, she's going to help us raise our frequency. Hello, Althea. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. Very, very grateful. And also a big thank you to Sandra Akura, my soul sister. We've done lots of work together and her speech was very, very beautiful. So I've got a few different things that I want to touch on today. I did leave a little bit of leeway to openness to what it is that is needed for you guys at this moment in time for the collective. But primarily, I want to speak on how to really anchor in a space of non-attachment, neutrality, 0 point neutrality, and how to really be able from that space to create your own reality, to really embody and create the 5D right here where you are now into your own reality. So how do you do that? There's a lot of different words, and there's a lot of different people who speak about the 0 point neutrality, like a space of detachment, objective observation. It's really a space where you bring your vibration down through meditation. There's a lot of different techniques that I'm going to speak about, but just for sake of understanding the concept itself, let's say you're in meditation, right? And you first you're going to get all these like thoughts and things that come up, and like, you know, how the worries, the past, the future. You want to be anchored in the present. So how do you do that? You get to a space where you are everything and nothing, a space where there is complete and absolute stillness. Okay, the goal is to portray this in your daily life. So to be in that space of compassionate detachment, because you still want to be in empathy, you still want to be in compassion, you still want to be in love, you still want to be in the heart center, but at the same time, you want to be neutral. Why? Because if you're neutral, you're going to be able to objectively observe all the different timelines and all the different options that you have to live your life in the highest alignment, and then be able to make the choice that will bring you there. So basically, staying in a space of objective observation when you get triggered, when there are people that trigger you, or when you go into spaces and you feel like you're going to react and whatnot. Triggers are okay. They are our biggest teachers, especially when they come from family and from partners and from people very close to us. Just like Sandra was saying before me, if you are in a divine union, whether it's your twin flame or a soulmate, or not too much karmic relationship, you will have experienced this, but you will also have experienced this with your family. So how do you reprogram yourself? How do you stay in this space of non-reaction? So the first time you'll react to the trigger, the second time, probably again. And then maybe by the third time, you'll be like, okay, let me breathe, let me anchor, let me ground, Let me stay centered. The basis of ascension, the basis of raising your vibration is staying grounded. You cannot go up there if you're not down here. You need to be embodied. You need to be present within your physical vessel. Everything needs to rise together, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental. You cannot just raise your vibration. And yes, you can meditate for hours and hours and hours. If you're not taking care of your physical, if you're not putting healthy nutrients in your body, if you're not exercising, if you're not really taking care of this, because remember, you chose to be here, you chose to go through the lessons, you chose to go through the experience, and nothing will be thrown at you that you cannot handle. So by being in this neutral space, by being in the space of 0 point neutrality, what can you also do? You can also manifest. So this is kind of like a quick fix glitch that I use, and that it's quite interesting. It's manifesting in the quantum realm. So basically, a lot of people, you want to manifest in this reality. You write your intentions down, you ask for things and what. That's all well and good. However, if you learn to anchor in 0 point neutrality, and then from that space, become the emotion of what it is that you want to attract, you're literally going to quantum leap into the life that you want. So I'll give you a practical example. I have a very practical approach to spirituality. Those of you who follow me, who know my YouTube or my Instagram or my channels or my lives, or who have worked with me, know that I have a very practical approach. I believe, obviously, in meditation. I don't believe that you need to be a master meditator to reach a high vibration. Meditation is a tool like everything else, like food. You can use it to your advantage. But there's a lot of things that you can do to be in a high vibration and to anchor and to stay in it. So I'm just going to give the example of financial abundance, because it is a thing that a lot of people really want to manifest, because they want to be in a space of safety, security, freedom, whatever it is. So let's say you want to manifest financial abundance. Okay. So you're like, okay, why is it that I want to manifest financial abundance? Is it for safety? Okay. Let's say safety, security, you want to buy a house, you want to be, you want to make sure that your future is taken care of if you've got children or whatnot. Okay. So you enter this 0 point neutrality space. You enter this neutral vibration where you can be everything and nothing. When you are in that, you become the emotion that the financial stability will give you. So you become the safety, you become the security that having the house will give you. You become it from a space of non-attachment. So it's okay to want it. You don't want to need it. If you need it, it's going to put you back into polarity, because it puts you back into a space of lack. And as a consequence, you're going to actually get further away from what it is that you want. So this is kind of like a little bit of a hack. I know that it is obviously easier said than done. It takes practice, but with embodying yourself, with grounding, with anchoring, with being present in the moment, what makes you present in the moment? Anything that reverts you back to your 5 physical senses, anything you can touch, smell, hear, feel, and taste. Anything that brings you present in the now. Anything that helps you stay grounded. When my channel first opened, and I will be doing a transmission, I will pull through some code towards the end. So I will be doing a full system clearing for those of you who are present here. I wasn't sure. And then I came on and they were like, no, do a little bit. So I was like, okay. When I first opened and started receiving, I was all over the place. I was quite scattered. And at the time, this was back in 2017 when I started opening up to light language, and it wasn't really a thing. People didn't really know what it was. I was very fortunate to have a colleague of mine who assisted me in my journey, and she really helped me out a lot. But anyway, I spent about a year just consistently grounding and anchoring my energy field, because if I didn't, yes, I would receive messages and I would kind of understand. But what happens is I find that on all the people that I work on, generally the root and the crown go hand in hand. If the root is scattered, so is the crown. So what happens? If some of you are struggling to understand or to receive information, it's not because your psychic intuition is blocked. Like 95% of the people that come to me who are like, oh, my third eye is blocked, I have implants. No, most of them actually have blockages lower down or are not anchoring properly. If you're not grounded, it means things are scattered and they're not coming in, and they're just kind of like laying around here. So you're sort of picking up random bits of information. You want it to be like this. The toroidal field flows like this. So if there's problems lower down, you're going to struggle with accessing higher up. And by grounding, you can actually be able to tune in and anchor both. So you can have the channel opening. You can be more comfortable and confident in receiving the information or whatever it is that comes through to you. And at the same time, you can be anchored. You can stay in that 0 point neutrality throughout your day. And this is very interesting because I was in India this year and I did a little bit of I was with the sadhus, and I was learning a little bit from them. And it's very interesting because they have their own understanding of, of how it all works. However, the one thing that is I would say universal to an extent is probably the grounding, the anchoring, the embodiment. A lot of starseeds, a lot of people who are opening up, they want to know, they want the messages, they want the clairvoyance, they want to see. Everyone wants to see. Everyone always comes to me like, can I open my third eye? Can I see? Why am I not seeing? Just be careful what you wish for, because sometimes it opens, and it opens like that. And then, a lot of people also have that. It'll open and it will be blown open. And then because it's so open, then you'll get these people that have these things which are like schizophrenia, bipolar, all the mental disorders. From what I understand and from what I've seen energetically, I'm not a medical person. I don't have any medical background. So this is just from my own personal experience working with people who have had these issues. It's actually people who are very, very, very open energetically. It's people who are, to an extent, also not shielding. This is something else that I want to also, I cannot express enough the importance of shielding your field out of love, obviously not out of fear. So we are living in third dimensional density. Obviously with our consciousness we can elevate, but our physical body's here. It's here. Okay, so to need to get to 5D crystalline structure and up to 6D collective consciousness, wherever it is that you want to go, you still need to go through 4D. So you need to, and you still need to live here, your day to day with your people, with your, also your people who maybe are not in the same vibration and whatnot. And because we don't get taught in school how to deal with energy, we don't get taught that, to an extent, extreme emotions can cause tears in our auric field, drugs or substances, things like that. And also boundaries, not having proper boundaries can leave you open, especially as an empath, and you can get cords. So you can get anytime there is an alignment in frequency with someone, something, a situation, a person, a past life, whatever it is, there'll be a cord. So if you're open and you don't necessarily have to be energy worker, but just if you're open, you're starseed, you're living your life, you have these galactic experiences and seeing these things here and there, but you're not aware that there's cording that can come through to you, whether it's, sexual cords or past life cords or just your friends that's draining you, and you're not doing something to clear your field or shielding it, you're going to get exhausted. You're going to burn out. So it's really, really important to have some kind of, to an extent, grid and structure. Obviously, you want to be heart-centered. So all of this needs to come from a space of love and not from a space of fear. But because we are navigating polarity, and it's like undeniable, doesn't matter how much you try, you're not going to be able to constantly live in 5D. I mean, maybe if you are, a Tibetan monk, all he does is meditate the whole day. You need to be embodied here. You chose to be here and you chose to raise the vibration on a collective level. How do you do that? You make sure that your system is solid, grounded, supported, and aligned. You can't really do that if your cup is half empty. You cannot pour and give to others unless you are structured, embodied, anchored. You're obviously going to go through healing. Always, it never ends, guys. I mean, this, from what I've channeled, I've seen that because of soul fragmentation, most of us have it because we've had past lives. Some of us came here with clear karma. There's not many, but some of us in my generation, I mean, the new ones are coming through with clear karma, but most of us have experienced soul fragmentation to an extent. And this I learned also in my own experience. Everything that I teach and I speak about and that comes through me is what I have been through as well, and from what I've seen. So when you have very traumatic past lifetimes on planet, off planet, wherever you have them, sometimes, you know, your soul fragments a little piece. Doesn't mean that you're not whole, guys. You're all very, very whole. So always like be aware of that. But the more you heal, so this is how I see that it works. Obviously, time is fluid, but just for the sake of this conversation, we're gonna explain it for it to be linear. First, you start with the trauma and the healing in this embodiment in this lifetime. Then you go back to past lifetimes on Earth. Then you go back to galactic past lifetimes on Earth. Then you go back to galactic past lifetime off planet, and so and whatnot. Some of us come here, we do cycles. So I'll come here for maybe like 1,000 years, then I'll go off, and then I'll have maybe like 2,000 years in Pleiades, and then I'll come back here and stay for another 1,000 years. So most of us have played this game before. So what happens as you start remembering, as you start healing, as you start re-embodying part of yourself, you call these fragments back in. And with these fragments coming back in, you actually start to open up more of your psychic abilities, more of your psychic intuition. You start reading more of your blueprint. You start being able to hold more of the codes. Something that's happening and that's going through a lot of us is an upgrade through the memory construct. So a lot of you are probably like, oh my God, I think Sandra mentioned this briefly before. I can't remember what I had for dinner. I'm struggling, you know, like I can't focus, I can't concentrate. So our memory is also upgrading as starseeds. So what's happening is, as we open up more to our multidimensional self and we start embodying more parts of ourself, we start opening up to more knowledge, whether it's a geometry, whether it's, you know, seeing through the grid, seeing through the construct, seeing through the structure, seeing in the quantum realm, whatever it is that is opening up for you, whether it's, you know, being able to hear things and whatnot. We start to upgrade our memory, and our human physical body, its capacity in the brain cannot withhold the amount of information, guys. Imagine now you're getting codes of universal knowledge that are coming through. You know, there's stuff that's coming in from eons ago. You're clearing whole like planetary timelines. You're clearing your multidimensional karmic timelines across space and time. It's not possibly going to be able to fit just, you know, in your human brain. So what's happening is our kind of like memory construct, I like to call it like the cloud, it's actually being stored to an extent outside of us. So what happens is when you need some information, you'll call it and it'll come back in. So as we are expanding and embodying more parts and aspects of ourselves, so is our memory. I want to also quickly touch on, by being in the space of groundedness, I want to touch on free will, choices, karma, and lessons, and how I understand that these work. So if you understand, like, I'm just going, for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to explain briefly how the dimensional densities work. And it's obviously a bit more complex, but like in first dimensional density, something just is, okay? And this is not soul densities. This is like actual plane densities. In second, something is, it is consciousness of being. In the third one, something is, it is consciousness of being. It can take action. However, it is still limited by the constraints of time and space, which is where we live. Okay, we are, you know, in the lower tiers of fourth now, but we kind of like in between and up and down and whatnot. In the fourth, in your astral realm, there's no limitation of time. So time is fluid. You can manifest anything instantly. However, there is still limitation of space. You still need to walk to places, fly, you know, and do things and whatnot. And in fifth dimensional density, you don't have limitations of time and space. So if you have contracts that you've come here to clear, if you have lessons that you've come here to experience, where does the free will lie? The free will and the choice lies in between. So let's say Althea needs to go from lesson A to lesson B. Okay, so Althea learns lesson A. She learns it fairly easily, okay? Her free will lies to how she gets from lesson A to lesson B. If Althea chooses not to listen and to live a life that isn't in alignment, and, you know, she isn't living in her heart center listening, she's going to do this, possibly go back here. If Althea chooses to listen and be in a space of non-attachment and be calm and balanced, she'll get easily from A to B. But point A and point B need to be experienced, because it is what you pre-contracted and agreed on before coming here. So now how do you deprogram and clear yourself of this down different timelines? When you go into the experience and you react differently when the trigger comes to you, or I don't know, your friend says something and it triggers you and you get upset and you react differently to it, you are automatically reprogramming your system to react in that way. You are taking conscious action of your decision. You are co-creating your reality and your highest alignment. This is what I always say, and I like to explain. It's you don't even have to do much. You just have to listen. If you learn to listen, they will tell you, they will help you, your guides, your higher self, they will assist you. And just to quickly also touch on this, like Sandra mentioned, understanding that your guides will never ever go against your free will. They will never tell you what to do. They will never put themselves above you. They will always empower you. Understanding that our guides, our higher selves, they are also souls and beings that are going through their own lessons as well, that they chose to, and part of it is to help us and to assist us, and to really, really guide us, so it's really important to, again, stay in the heart and see what it is that really, really, really feels in alignment for you. And it will be a lot easier if you're grounding your system, if you're anchored, if you're embodied, if you're physically present. A lot of I get a lot of clients who come to me and they're like, oh, but I do so much yoga and I'm not just, it's not yoga's not very grounding unless you're doing like an hour of hatha on the floor. It doesn't really ground you. And oh, I'm walking in nature. Yes, but are you walking in nature and are you looking at the trees, feeling your feet, or are you walking in nature and thinking about what you're going to have for dinner and your work? Because if that's what you're doing, you're not grounding yourself. So there's a very big, to an extent, misconception on how to actually ground. Anything that brings you within yourself can be grounding. Doing a puzzle, painting, journaling, any hobby, any passion, anything creative. I had this vision in meditation a few months ago, which has been coming up a lot for me to express. So I was in meditation and all of a sudden I became a cell. Like a human cell. That's what I think it was, a human cell. It was a cell. And sorry. And I started, I was multiplying myself with the speed of a cell. Like I was so deep into this thing that I actually forgot that I was human. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that kind of deep trance space, you'll know what I mean. And I was the cell and I was multiplying myself. And then I asked telepathically, source consciousness, I was like, what is this? Why are you showing me this? And what I got back is like, this is it. This is what it is. The creation, the creation of the being, and how do you do that? By being creative, following your passion, following your heart, staying centered, staying grounded, staying balanced. So that was a very, very powerful message that came through to me, that I wanted to share with you guys. I still have a little bit of time. I want to touch on one or two things. I will speak a little bit about light language as well. And also obviously understanding that healing is not linear. There is no, it's not going up, it's a going up and a back and a down and around. And then one morning you wake up and you're like, oh, I actually react differently than what I would have done a year or so ago, or even a month ago. And you wake up and you understand, okay, actually, I have made progress. And a lot of the time for starseeds, we have very intense experiences. I feel like in my lifetime, just this human one that I've had currently, I've lived over 100 ones just in the years that I've lived here. Because the more you raise your vibration, the more you are ready to receive, the more you say anchor, the more you say grounded, the quicker they're going to send you lessons, because now you're able to deal with them. Now you'll see what's going on. Doesn't necessarily have to be dramatic. Kind of some of the times it is. We are clearing a lot in the astral, like Sandra was saying. I've also seen, I'm always doing a lot of work in the astral, but I've also seen a shift. I usually do I usually do planetary work in the astral. This time I've been actually sent around. So by planetary, I mean on Earth. And these past 2 weeks, I've actually been sent. I don't get sent very far because it's still planetary work. So I actually get sent just above the atmosphere. What I do is I actually pull through light codes and I anchor them in and within the grid. But the astral, it's been different. A lot of people have been clearing a lot. As I said, there's no limitation of time in the astral. So our guides send us a lot of lessons to clear it because it's quicker, it's more efficient. And we don't have to go through seeing the person in the 3D or doing whatever it is, some of them, obviously we need to learn the 3D, but the astral I did find that it has changed a bit, as well. Something quickly that I want to touch on as well is we are in the space of clearing Atlantean karma right now, especially in the aspect of technology. So I see a lot of people saying, oh, I want to go live off grid and away from everyone and whatnot. You can do that. You're going to hold the vibration to what it is. You're not going to be that productive to the evolution. We are walking into embodiment and integration of technology. This is where we're going. And a lot of starseeds are scared. They're struggling, they're confused because they are reliving the karmic trauma from ancient Atlantis. This is what we're clearing now on a planetary level, on a collective level, on a galactic level. So there's so many beings that are here helping us. They also need to clear their own karma. They also need to clear their own, their own karmic timelines. So yes, bringing back that, that back to the roots, back to the natural, back to, the unprocessed foods and things like that, but integrating it and embodying it with the technology, with the advancement, with the evolution. So it's balance. It's like balance in everything. I mean, when people come to me and they're like, oh, I am so against westernized medicine and whatnot, I'm literally only alive because of westernized medicine. So again, balance with everything. Obviously, if you can go the natural way, do go that way. But sometimes, we're here to experience it. So it's also okay to use the what it is of a technology. Everything is what you make of it, guys. If you think that something is bad for you, it's going to be bad for you. You are so powerful that you can change the vibration and frequency of whatever it is. You ideally want to be at a vibration where if you eat something that is junk food, your body actually converts it and it's okay for you. Obviously, if you eat a lot of it, it's going to take a lot of energy and it's going to be not so good for you. But you want to be in such a high vibrational frequency state, your baseline, your base vibration at which you operate throughout your day wants to be as high as possible, so that then when there are things that you encounter and whatnot, you are actually divinely guided to make the decisions and the choices that are for your highest alignment. So yeah, that's just a little bit of that. Before I go into light language, gratitude, staying in a space of gratitude within the heart center is always very powerful. I start my morning with gratitude. I also suggest, guys, if you don't already do this, taking time for yourself to either whether it's like meditation, gratitude, setting your intentions, calling your guides through your third chakra. Remember, as much as you put out into your spirituality, you are putting into yourself, you're gonna get it back. It's like a wheel. This is how I understand it. It's like a wheel. You put out into your spirituality, into yourself, you put devotion, love, understanding, to your higher self. You don't want to be in a space of disempowerment. So obviously staying within your own empowerment. But if you put out to that, then you will get back. Maybe not straight away, but you will get back, okay? And with also the moving away from attachment, I think it's important to understand that because of societal constructs and the fact that we are brought to believe that we need, this to be happy and that to be happy, and we're not going to be happy unless we have the car or the job or whatnot, that automatically programs us to be in a space of lack and to be in a space of out of abundance. But our natural state is of abundance. We are all born abundant. So it's about unlearning everything that we have been taught by the societal construct and relearning your own individual or your universal truth, or what it is that you feel within your heart is your truth, without all the labels, without all the attachment to people, expectations, situations. How do you do that? How do you get to that? You stay in your truth. You speak your truth. Doesn't matter if you think it's going to upset someone. If you're speaking your truth, it's coming from the heart. It's coming from a space of love and compassion, and they're getting upset. That's not your problem. You're not in control of other people's emotions and reaction. You're only in control of your own. So just really, 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 really understand that empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. You need to have your boundaries up. Boundaries are one of the highest forms of self-love. If you're out there trying to help everyone, but at home, your situation is terrible, you're not going to really be able to help anyone. You're just going to end up being drained. So by being in your truth, if you're not in your truth, what also happens is you're not only doing a disservice to yourself, creating a blockage in your solar plexus, because the emotion is going to get stuck because you're not going to express it. You might be taking a lesson away from someone else. So it's not only about you. When you're not in your truth, you're doing a disservice to the people around you as well, per extent. When you're in your truth, you're leading by example. You're empowered, you're embodied. And it's not easy, guys. It's not going to be easy, especially when it comes to family members, partners. You know what I mean? We get programmed to please people. We are, especially women. I mean, we've been, like obstructed and put down for so many years, and we get into these spaces of people pleasing, and then so many starseeds perhaps end up in these relationships that are toxic for them, and really it's just because they're struggling with their boundaries and to express their truth and to be in their truth. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly touch a little bit on light language, if those of you who are not familiar with it. I have been channeling light language for many years. I will be pulling through some codes. Light language is basically the new technology. That's what it is. It's the new technology that's coming through to assist us. The codes are intelligent. They have their own understanding. They will go where is most needed for you. Some of you will feel this. Some of you will clear. Some of you will channel with me. Whatever you feel is okay. Be in a space of openness to receive the codes. Some of you might not feel them as much. You might feel them later on. Some of you might start coughing, gagging, burping. It's all very, very normal. The light language bypasses the conscious mind and works directly on your DNA structure. It really, really, really can assist with anything. It is the most versatile energetic healing tool that I have worked with. So yeah, I guess if you guys have had any experiences, know that it is a pure soul expression, and it can be expressed in many different ways. Just for you to understand how I work, what I do is I will speak and I will bring through frequency through my throat. The codes will go within your system. My actual hands will bring in codes as well, and I will be physically clearing you guys too, okay? So you can start by closing your eyes. Finding a comfortable breathing rhythm. With every inhale, you breathe in light. With every exhale, you release all that no longer serves you. As you call in your higher selves, your spirit guides, anyone else who wishes to be present, there's a lot of guides around. Tiana takraktro triatic anoro trie maya shirataka tietora trienara opening structures. I'm opening the heart centers now. Tiaro to kuaishina taka krieta reo to kuaishira isira. Naima eo to kokiera triate sieto umara trieta kiera ta kriena reato reare re. Opening structures, opening. Okay, I'm going to call in divine rays, rainbow rays coming in, anchoring. pushing through, pushing out, clear, releasing, releasing, letting go. I'm clearing your solar plexuses now, letting go, opening, letting go, calling in more light, more rays, coming in, anchoring, pushing out, all that no longer serves you. You let go, let go now, trust, feel the heart, open into higher understanding, into higher knowledge, open, codes of knowledge coming in, anchoring, into higher structures, opening, activating blueprint, activating synapses, nervous system, clearing, releasing. Some of you are very overworked and dehydrated. Clearing, releasing. I'm clearing your spinal cords now. A lot of you are holding on to stuff for others. You will feel clearing from the back, from your shoulders. Ntaik ura meatik ariet na yetik ura tria ishira sira ya calling in more codes, anchoring, attuning, more codes coming in of knowledge, more understanding of self, more opening, structures, clearing, releasing. Releasing, letting go, anchoring more light, more divine rays coming in, rainbow rays, rainbow structures, activating, Karatiet kumaratrietare ishenataka. Eutok ua ishenare atia maete ushetaka. Kriate krekuk areatre isa eso ishenata. Miatare aye uk akriete urranara yetro ishera aligning timelines. Okay, I'm bringing in timelines for you guys to clear. You were clear in the next few days, up to 3 weeks for full integration of everything. Tiamo tukui. Nta quiero kumaratrie sasiero to kumaratrie teria nai ero araishe ta kiera tek ato to koroishe nataka. Okay, I'm also lifting veils, clearing, releasing illusions. Some of you are actually going to activate into psychic vision after this. By psychic vision, I mean seeing through the construct with your third dimensional density eyes, not your third eye. Most of you have that quite well tuned in already. I'm going to clear also a little bit of grief and emotional loss from the heart center. So if you do feel emotional, like crying or a little bit nauseated, remembering to stay in a space of love, compassion, understanding, patience towards the self, patience, anchoring codes of patience. Okay, that is what is needed. Apparently some of you are struggling with patience. Towards the self. Tiaratre ateo koka ishie naratrie takaimara. Nteoro tokoa ishie takria tre naratu kuma ishi. Naya tera ishie rataka krie tokumaratrie. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. I clear energetically by either coughing, burping, gagging. It's just a release. So when I transmute, sometimes it comes up. Those of you who follow me know and are aware. Yeah, and that's how I clear on a physical level. It needs to go somewhere. It needs to be transmuted. So yeah, you'll be clearing for a few hours. Some of you might feel it early when you go to sleep. You might be clearing for a few days. Just be mindful and aware. You might get triggered more easily. Old emotions might come up. You might feel like you don't want to be around people. You might feel like, you actually have instinct to, I don't know, call your mother and speak to her and apologize or whatever. Whatever is needed for you. From the codes you will integrate, they are intelligent. They bypass the conscious mind. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening. I have been so honored and grateful and so happy that I've been invited to this and to speak. And yeah, I hope you guys understood and can take away some of my experience. And thank you for listening, and thank you for your light. It's felt, it's heard, it's appreciated from up there, from down here. I feel each and every one of you and all your lights. So thank you for being here. Thank you.
Fantastic presentation, Althea. I love your light codes. I love your light language and how you bring it through. And I could feel those codes opening. Just very, very powerful work.
It was very deep, and I liked what you're saying. We've heard some of this, but it's always good to hear it, and it's refreshing, and to know that the release and the energetic bonds can still fall away. So thank you for your hard work and being a way shower.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful. Thank you. This was wonderful.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you teach light language?
I do, yes, I do. I teach channeling and light language, and I train light workers to become also light language channelers.
And how long have you been? Okay. How long have you been on the path doing your work as a starseed?
So I started doing Reiki healing about 8 years ago. And then it was kind of like on the side. And then with the pandemic, I was doing like big events, and that obviously didn't happen anymore. So the universe kind of pushed me to do this full time. But I'd been doing like tarot readings since I was like 15. So I come from a lineage of psychics. So my mother also and my grandmother, they never really took it as a line of work, but the women in my family have all kind of always been intuitive. But so I guess that since the pandemic, I've been completely focused on this. So before it was kind of like a side job.
So now it's activated full on, right? And I love the tattoos on your forearm. They're very multi-dimensional there. Yeah. Can you just see that on the forearm like that?
Yeah. No, so this is me when I was taken up on the ships in 2018. It's got red hair as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And here I've got the whole solar system. And then what these actually do is they amplify. So whenever I'm channeling light language and codes, these become portals, and literally light starts coming through them. Everyone that I got done was divinely guided. So they also work with me to an extent.
Wow. We have to get those, Joan. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, sure. Anything is possible, Alan. Absolutely. Althea, your work is great. I'm so happy that Neil brought you in and introduced us. I see you on your Instagram now, activating people and light workers and starseeds. It's an interesting day that I've noticed almost all of us today were focused on how to help starseeds and light workers come into their personal power. Yeah. Every presentation is the next level.
That's our evolution. That's our moment where we're awakening to the starseed, crisis that has to be broken through so we can all become those lights, so it's that we're at a turning point in starseed evolution, I feel.
I do believe.
Does that make sense, Althea?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. And it's very interesting because I feel like each one of us can bring, even if it's similar concepts, we all bring our own different perspective and understanding to it. And with the amount of information that there is out there, it's important that we share ours so that people can then go into their own truth and their own discernment as well.
Right.
Yeah, great.
Exactly.
Great.
Thank you so much, Althea. I've
Thank you so
seriously
much
been
for having me.
I've
Thank
been
you.
singing your praises. Like honestly, whenever I tune into your light language, it just like I feel it through my entire body, and I just appreciate just your presence and everything you're doing for humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil, so much for having me. I'm so grateful. My heart is bursting right now. So thank you, guys. And yeah, I look forward to listening to the next speaker.
After 3 years of having to produce the Portal to Ascension conference online, we have been waiting for this moment. The Portal to Ascension conference is returning live and in person. Join us at the Marina Village in San Diego, California, April 21st to 23rd, 2023. As massive shifts are happening on the planet and hidden truths are being uncovered, we are piecing together the fragmented parts of our existence and timeline. At Portal to Ascension, we are dedicated to full circle awareness of the truth of who we are and remembrance of our connection to the cosmos. This is showtime. There is no holding back. Now is the time for us to harmonize the frequencies and create unity and peace on Earth. We are deprogramming from an outdated matrix system, re-educating and remembering an inherent truth that connects us all. As we come together, we activate our truest potentials, individual gifts, and collective resolve. We are ushering a whole new reality that we know is possible and is waiting for us to embrace it. Join founder Neil Gore and the entire Portal to Ascension team with hosts Alan Steinfeld, Michelle Anderson, and Joan of Angels over these 3 days, April 21st to 23rd, 2023. We will experience musical performances by Larissa Stowe and the Shakti Tribe, Vox Angeles, Share the Light, Admiral Apollo, and Torquemji. This conference features incredible luminaries such as JJ and Desiree Hurtak, Adam Apollo, Carolyn Corey, Robert Schock, Linda Moulton Howe, Robert Edward Grant, Barbara Lamb, and many more. Register now at ascensionconference.com. It is time for humanity to awaken.